That is the purpose. Again, purpose is very important to do something in life. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Without purpose, this world would not exist. Why different countries will fight?
Because
Power is one thing, but what is the purpose?
Expansion.
Expansion could be money related, could be taking resources out of their country, bringing to yours for your people. Something, so there's something behind it. Sometimes it's ego. Make sense? Sometimes, oh, how come he can see me that? I'm gonna go take revenge. Sometimes that ego. Make sense? So if you look at why do you go to work? So you need to survive. How are you gonna pay your bills? Right? It doesn't matter where you are. Even if you have lots of land, a farmer, do they still need to work? They need to, right? What if you don't have land, now what? You got to do something else where you can generate cash flow. Make sense? At the end of the day, what is your purpose? To generate cash flow and build your network. So it means everyone is trying to do that, but let's look at this way. If you want to drive, if you want to get to from destination A to B, what is first thing you do? What is first thing? You check the location. If you don't know, what do you do next? You find how you get there. Have you ever done that you start driving without knowingly what direction you're gonna head? Have you ever done that in life? Okay,
only when I teach my son how to drive without direction, no destination.
right? Only if someone else knows how to, sometimes that works too. So that is secondary, but if I'm talking about myself, why do I wanna drive? Because I wanna be getting to my destination faster. Making sense? Same is life. You said you wanna work and you wanna increase your net worth. You wanna have positive cash flow. What is positive cash flow? So if your bills are $1,000, you're making more than 1,000 so that you can have little extra than what you make and that invest that money and grow that money. If you're breaking even, do you think you will ever have net worth? No, right? So that is something you need to do. But how many times in life someone taught that how to do it? Until now, until you came to financial industry, did someone teach you? So in which, first of all, is EFA, expert financial analysis means in order to grow my network, I must have a destination that how far do I want to get? How much money should I have by what age? Make sense? How many of you guys have a plan right now that you know by age 50, I'm gonna have $2 million? Because if I have $2 million, I start taking 5% out of it. I will have 100,000 income. Now 100,000 is good income to survive if you retire. It's pretty good if you're debt free, right? If there's no mortgage payments, no loans, then it's pretty good. It's not best, but it's pretty good. So you can still live a decent life. But how many of us have a plan like that? Now, doing whatever you are doing, continue doing that. You cannot just quit and be emotional and say, like Prakash, I'm quitting my job and I'll start making 150,000 like he did. Some people are different, right? I'm saying this because he went to an event like this and decided to quit his job. I told him, hold off, man, don't be emotional. It's not that easy. Making 100,000 in financial industry is not easy, but he still did it and he built it. So what my point here is, if you want to increase your positive cash flow, if you want to grow your network, you need a vehicle which does have power to get you there. Now, do you think you can walk to India or Europe? What do you need to get there efficiently on time? Flight or ship, because there's ocean in the middle. Can you do it without it? If you want that, if that's your goal, to go to Europe from Calgary. There's a couple different ways you can get there, but then you need to figure out which one is the best way. Make sense? Same thing, what you are trying to do is grow your network. But what is the vehicle you have? So doing whatever you're doing right now is one option, but you need to start looking at how much money do I save doing that per month? And then multiply it by that annually, and then where it's invested and what is the return you are achieving, then you need to consider inflation. Inflation is what's going to de-evaluate and increase cost of living. So average inflation in Canada is 3%. Average inflation in India is 10%. So depends what country you live. Average inflation in Pakistan, do you know what is the inflation there?
20.
$20, 20%. That means every 3 years, the cost of living is doubling. That is why the Canadian dollar versus them, there's such a big gap, right? When I came to Canada, Canadian dollar used to be about 22 rupees. But look at now, look at what's the currency difference with other countries of Canadian dollar. Look at Canadian dollar versus US. It means US have lesser inflation. This is why Canadian dollar is not strong enough to hold its inflation. Our inflation is pretty good. We are around 2.5%, but they really keep it well because they have more resources, more companies there, better economy than us. Is making sense? So that is why you need to get engaged in financial industry. What I'm gonna tell you is what is Experior, how does it work, what do we do, what are the options? If you're looking for second opportunity, what is the option in there? But if you're happy with what you are doing, how can we help make difference in your life when it comes to your finances? Are we clear? We are not here to recruit you. We are not gonna tell that your financial institution is bad, everyone is good. But how can we create a difference in your life? That is what you're gonna learn today. Do I have your permission? Perfect, thank you. I'm gonna share my presentation.
Can I record it or is already recording?
Madhav or Hinok ji,
But you can.
yeah, they are doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. do.
So can I see some hands? How many people are licensed in this room? Okay, most of them. And how many are as a guest and they don't have a clue what is Experior? One, just one, okay. And maybe few on Zoom. Okay, perfect. You guys can see my screen. I'm gonna try to make this bigger. Have you guys heard word called broker? Broker? Broker is where they give you different options. So when it comes to Experior, Experior is a broker in financial industry. Let me see if this works. Oh, I didn't put that. That's okay. Sorry. Okay, so we are MGA, Managing General Agency, which is form of broker in Canada. It's called IMO, Insurance Marketing Organization in USA. So USA have about 50 states. And we are licensed in US and Canada to provide financial services. And you're gonna learn how do we do it. The next thing is we are founded in 2014. We are not very old company, but in next 2 years, we are projecting that value of our organization is gonna hit $1 billion. If I look at the previous growth since 2014, we're gonna be a $1 billion company. We have over 6,000 licensed advisors in US, Canada, and lots of them are in process of learning and getting licensed. We're first Canadian company that established themselves in Canada but moved into USA. Most of the companies, if you look at organizations, they established themselves in USA and then moved to different parts of the world. So we feel so proud that we are the first one in financial sector to go to USA. Now there's some banks, if I look at TD Bank, do they have operations in US? They do, but they are very limited operations. But as a broker, what I'm talking is as a broker where you can offer multiple services, right? Our head office for Canada is in Ontario, and our head office for USA is in Buffalo, New York. This is our mission statement. See, initially I said purpose. Thanks to Andy Roger, who she talked about purpose. There's two meanings of it. Before I used to think one meaning, which was that here I am, whether I'm in 20s, 30s, 40s, I need to work till age 65 and I should be debt free. There should be no loans, no mortgage by age 65. But after that, I need money for my lifestyle. Because what government give you is survival. They don't give you luxury, right? So I need to do out enough cash flow or assets so that I can have desired income after age 65. But if I do not make it there, if I die too soon, if I die or if I'm too sick in 20s, 30s, or 40s, what will happen to my net worth or my income? It will stop, right? So if you look at our mission statement, building financial foundation for families to empower them today. What is empowerment? That they don't suffer. Power. They are empowered and leave a legacy. If they outlive, they have a legacy. They are not worried about money. They are not giving up their lifestyle. Is it making sense?
Yes.
The second one is when it comes to Experior opportunity, legacy. Andrea Roger on Monday, she said that legacy is what goes for generations. Is that possible in Experior?
Yes.
How is it possible? Because there's a legacy program that if you build a business, it is your business, you own it, and no one can take it away from you. But if no one in your family wanna do that business, they don't want to get licensed, they don't want to learn how to provide financial services, guess what? According to our legacy program, your coming generations will still have income. Make sense? So there's two type of legacy we are talking about here. And all the experienced people, they know that what is that legacy program. Now, in order to do business, we need license. Regulated industry regulators have lots of guidelines on what we can do, what we cannot do. We are licensed on both sides of border in US and Canada to work anywhere. So all you got to do is the province you are in. If you pass your exam there, get license. After that, you can activate your license in other provinces or states. Now, next thing is, what do we do? How do we make money? Let's look at this, that in order, if you realistically look at this, if you look at here, if I don't make it, how do I protect my paycheck? Now, what is the things that can stop my income? If a person dies, what happens to their income? It will stop. But if they are critically ill, what will happen to their income? It will stop temporarily. How about if they are injured? Disability. So life CINDI is protecting your initial paycheck. Is it making sense?
Yes.
But how many people have an understanding of it, that how does it work? Or they will buy under someone else's faith, and later on they will learn that, man, I could have done better if they would have educated me. Is it making sense? So there's this difference between solution and buying. Buying is when someone is telling you you bought. Solution is when you understand. Making sense? We do not sell life insurance. We do not sell critical illness. We help you provide with a solution that will help you to navigate through short term and long term. Short term means today, or next year or next 5 years. Long term is over long period of time. So that is called solution. So these are different products in which life, CIDI, health, dental, drug coverage, it could be from your work, could be personal, super visa, VTC, and travel insurance. These are different options. Final expense, which is everyone is going to die. And when you die, it's not free. It costs you money, right? That is funeral expense. Next thing is, if I outlive, if I do not die, I need money. This variety of programs in which there's education plan, kids education plan, RSP, TFSA, FHSA, non-registered investments, your work pension plans, defined benefit, defined contribution. Lots of people have it, but they don't know how does it work. Then borrow to invest strategy. It's like getting second property. You know how you get second house, third house. You can do that in our industry too. You can borrow money to invest. So these are different strategies, generational wealth transfer strategies, that how money needs to be creditor proof. If there's a lawsuit, what will happen to my savings? So those are some of the things you're looking at. Next thing is, we cannot do everything ourselves, so that is not our intention. But how does mortgage works? We do have referral programs. We can guide you. We can give you some tips. What is collateral loan, HELOC? How does it work? What is good part of it? Where you need to be careful. We do have some referral programs on home and auto, commercial, pet insurance, everyday banking. I know a couple people who they make almost $500 just doing neo accounts. They'll continue to open everyday saving and checking account and a credit card. And what would you do with extra $500? And you don't have to do nothing. All you do is open a bank account for them, because everyone needs a bank account. There's almost 40 million people in Canada, right? Adults can open a bank account. How about if you help them with no fee banking? Make sense? So there's so many options we have to make money. These are the solutions we provide. But then the most important one is there anyone who takes their wealth with them? When they die, what happens to your wealth? Roll over to your spouse or to your next generation. That is called estate planning. Now we are dealing with a case, there's a couple different cases Buparai was discussing with me. And there's a situation where this client had mortgage insurance from BMO. Is it from BMO? And this lady died, and BMO, when they go to bank, they're telling them nothing. So there's another case. That case is that it's been how many months? Almost a year, right?
Yeah.
And they have some
15 months.
15 months, and they have a line of credit in a bank, but then they have another saving account or checking account in a bank. And the family is going to bank over and over, telling them to close that line of credit. They're willing to pay. The wife, survivor, she's willing to pay, but they say, oh, we don't know, talk to our estate planning department. So when he talked to me, first thing I asked him is, did they do probate? He said, but they have a will. I said, that means nothing. Did they do a probate? What is probate? Whether you have will or not, you're going to take that will to court. Your executor is supposed to take that will into court and file for probate. When you file for probate, all of your creditors will be notified. TransUnion, right, and Equifax will know that you have filed probate. And now if you owe someone money, they will come behind you. At the end, they're going to get clearance letter from CRA, where CRA says they don't owe us nothing. So they can give that clearance letter to court, and judge is going to say, okay, this person is eligible to transfer his wealth to whoever he wants according to will. If there's no will, now anyone can claim. Make sense? How you can claim, let's say Sanjeev can come tell during probate that I promised him to give him 100,000. That's up to judge now if he want to give it or not. Make sense? Anyone can, when I die, anyone can claim that I promised them something. It's up to the judge now to verify. But if there's a will, it makes things easy. How many people are aware of it? Will does nothing. It's just a document of direction. Making sense? Healthcare directive. How many of us know what is healthcare directive? Or enduring power of attorney? So these are the things which are very, very important. I'll give you one tip on enduring power of attorney. Your lawyer, you probably know that. Let's say I have a mortgage. Me and my wife have a mortgage, and I'm in coma. I didn't die. If I die, will is gonna kick in. But I am in coma. Can I make any decisions? What happens to my mental capacity? Zero, right? So I cannot make decisions, but there's a renewal on mortgage. Or my family thinks that they cannot continue paying the mortgage, we should sell the house. Can they sell house without my signature while I'm being alive? No, then this is an important document. Anything related to finance, how are you gonna handle it if your mental capacity is not there? Can you do it then? How many Canadians have enduring power of attorney? How many people in this room have enduring power of attorney? Well, I do. Right? 4 or 5 of us, that's it. Business succession planning, tax strategies. So this is what we do. And we don't have any of our own product. Earlier I said we are broker, and these are our business partners. Now, if you think like this, let's say you are the owner of Manulife. You are number one company in Canada. You are the biggest in Canada. And Sanjeev come to you, and Sanjeev says, I want to represent Manulife. Will you allow me to sell your products? What is one thing in your mind as the owner will come into you? Will you allow anyone? What you gonna do? You're gonna do some research on them, who they are, how they run operation, what is their credibility. Making sense? So do you think if you all look at Desjardins, how old are they? If I look at IA, how old? All of these companies are more than 100-year old. Is making sense? So it means they did due diligence that a new company which started in 2014, why do they permit us? Because they look at our compliance, they look at our system in the back office, they look at how do we run daily operations. Is our client safe? Do we have proper database to manage daily operations? So that's how we were awarded these contracts. The next thing is investment partners. We don't have we are not Ponzi scheme where I'm going to tell you, in Punjabi, we call it committeeਆਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ. Give us 1,000 rupees and then we'll do this, and all of a sudden you run away with that money. We don't do that. If you have TFSA, whether it's in bank or with us, there's a couple different ways to invest that money. You can invest in stocks, you can invest in mutual funds, or you can put in HISA or GIC. So you can do it there too, and you can do the same with us too. But what is difference between them and us? You need to sit down with us and we'll show you that how we can help you compound your money faster and safer. Okay? Next thing is, earlier I talked about purpose, but let's look at future. Now, according to survey, let's assume there's 100 people in this room. This is a big room, and everyone is age 25. All of us are 25. Congratulations, you're 25. And what age you gonna retire? How many years later? 40 years later. According to stats, this is what happened to people. And now you can start looking at older people who are retiring or about to retire, or who have retired and died already. So according to stats, this is what happens. Out of those 40 people, 36% people 54% people will still be dependent on government. They don't have any source of income. If government does not give them pension, guess what is their income? And I have asked this, lots of us are farmers from back home. And I say, when your grandfather retired, What was his cash flow? You can say, I have 100 acres, but what is your positive cash flow? What is your cash flow? Nothing, zero. Now you're dependent on whom? On your son. If your son does not give you any money, guess what? You have no money. Making sense? You need to start thinking that what others do, I'm not going to do that same mistake. I want to be financially independent. Is it making sense? 36% people after retirement are still in debt. How many of us, will buy or change a house when we are in 40s or 50s? So when you change your house, what do? You reset the mortgage for how many years? Okay, then what is the magic here? Who's going to give you money to pay it off? Now you need to start looking if my bank balance is zero right now, or I have only emergency funds of 25,000, but I am signing up a mortgage of 300,000 or half a million, where that money is going to come from? Is it making sense? How I'm going to pay it off if I have only 5,000 or 10,000 per year in savings per year? Is it making sense? Did you get my point? How are you going to be debt free? What is your strategy? Or you are just being emotional of having a bigger house? So people, yes, it looks good. They want big house, but what is the purpose? Is the question. And this is why these stats are so true that 36 out of 100 will not be debt free. And do you see people like that? Do you know any? Lots of them, right? It's filled. Canada is filled with people like that. Next thing is 5% people will die by age 65 due to illness or injury. 4% people are those with no debt but $1 to $5 million. Who are they? Good people, doctors, lawyers, small business owners, these trucking companies. There's some people who did really good. Make sense? But they will have up to $5 million. If you have $5 million, think that I can have an income of 5%. And how much income can you have if you have $5 million? 250,000 income per year. Is that good income to survive? Yeah, you can fly in business class if you have that income. Make sense? But who are they? How many of them were doing jobs? Not many. They were working for themselves, or they were a little smarter. 1% out of that 100 people is going to become rich. They are called entrepreneurs. Making sense? No debt, but more than 5 million worth of net worth by age 65. So why it happens to 90%? Whether I'm part of 4%, 1%, did I go to same school or university? Did I? Okay. Then if I am in same school or university where other 90% people went, what is the difference? So let me ask you this, that these things we talked about, that instead of getting more into debt, I should protect what I have. How many people will start their life with that? Make sense? Next thing is blueprint. I talked about blueprint. Blueprint is your GPS. If you want to go to Edmonton, you should know now how to get to Edmonton. Make sense? So why you go to work? Couple different reasons. You want to grow your network. But what is your strategy? Where are you going to end? How much net worth? How much income do you want to have? How many of us have a blueprint right now? Do you have blueprint, young guy? No? Do you know how much wealth you need? No? Okay, you should, right? Because this is the time when you can build a plan, and instead of killing yourself and working hard, you don't need to kill yourself to be rich. You just need to plan. Is it making sense? Next thing is financial coaching. Who is training you on that? Right now, do you have a trainer who is helping you on how to become rich? Who is it? Oh, that's okay. Beside this, anyone else?
No.
Any other institution, any university, college did that to you? No. Okay. So the question here is, which category you want to be in? Harman, which category you want to be in? Everyone says 1%, but what is your plan? Show me your plan. You need to have a strategy. Make sense? You can. It doesn't matter. Even if you're 60, you still can be rich. But you need to have a strategy and plan. It's just you need to work a little harder than others. A person who is in 20s have more years and they can do it easily than person who is 60. Person who is 60 need to hustle more, but they can still do it. Make sense? Because if you look at our strategy, in order to have 40-50,000 income, all you need is 10 years. A person who is in 60s, can they still invest? So instead of 40, how about if they have income of 20,000 per month? You can do that in 5 years, but you need to work. Make sense? Okay, good, perfect. Let's understand cash flow. How money works. First of all, most of people work for others. Why? Because they know I have certain amount of income. Why people work in Amazon, Walmart, they will drive transit, or they are looking for a receptionist job somewhere. Why they do it? Or nursing, any of the things. Why will they go get educated to achieve that job? See, what is the definition of success? Whatever you want to do and you achieve it. You want to be nurse, you became nurse, that's success. Is it making sense? It's nothing to do with money. Money is a mindset. Success is what you want to do. If you want to be a mother and you became one, is it success? Yes. You want to own a house, whether it's under mortgage or debt free, you got one, that's success. Make sense? But net worth is a little different than success. So why people go to work? Because they feel comfortable that they have certain amount of income coming. But let me ask you, do they need to go to work to make money?
Yes. Yes.
But do they have any tax write-offs?
Yeah.
Can they claim their cell phone bill, lunch, dinner, fuel, repairs? No. How about control over time and money? Can they tell their employer, if you don't pay me $40, I'm gonna quit? How about I'm not gonna come at 9, I'll come at 12? Can they do that? So who controls them? Their employer. But what is their security? So if I'm hired somewhere and I am unable to do those duties, how long will they keep me? How long will they keep me?
As far as you're working according to the reputation.
Only until you can do it. How about if I'm unable to, if I'm construction worker and I cannot lift weight anymore, or I cannot do the things I'm supposed to, will they keep me? No, they'll let me go. Make sense? This is where some people who believe in themselves, they are hardworking people, will get into self-employment, where you get tax write-offs, where you still don't have control over time and money. So let me ask you, what is the difference between an employee versus self-employed? A doctor, a lawyer, a truck driver, taxi driver, do they need to be told what time they need to start and what time they need to finish? No. It means they can start, if they want to start at 9, 9:30, they cannot be saying that I'll start at midnight unless they're in hospital, right? Because there's certain criteria for that. But still, they cannot say that I'm not going to go to work, but government should pay me. A doctor, how do they get paid? If they see patients. If they don't see patients, do they make any money? How about lawyer? Can a lawyer not do anything and still make money? Or they need to do something for their clients? Can they rely on third party? Can they delegate that work and still win? A lawyer can, or they have to overlook themselves. Engineer, can engineer tell someone else? Or they need to sign off? Any project, engineer is supposed to sign up. So they need to do it. If they don't go to work, do they make any money? But can they do some tax write-offs? Like a doctor, they have a clinic, they have expenses. Can they claim it? Yes. So that is the difference between employment and self-employment. Is it making sense? Lots of people think they have a business when they're self-employed. Then what is business? Business is where you don't need to go to work for money. Let's look at some of the businesses. If you look at Walmart, Costco, 7-Eleven, how many times you see their owner coming to Calgary or BC every day to do the daily routine, or they have outlet model that is working on a system. And they can still control wherever they are. Owner of Costco could be in Hawaii, could be in India, still control Costco and see if they're making profits. They still work, but they don't go to work for money. Money is working for them. Is it making sense? Next thing is, if they want to increase their profits, what they need to focus on. So let's say they have 4 locations in Calgary. Do you know, I don't know how many people know, that each location of Costco per day will sell more than 1 million, 1 million, 30 million from one location in a month. That is their average sale per month. That is their minimum. So if they want to increase their profits, so let's say they have 4 locations, 30 times 4, 120, but they want to get to 500,000 per month. What they need to do?
Bring more inventory,
Yeah, inventory is already there.
then promotions, more of it, and then.
They need to open more
Open
outlets.
area.
Because one location can do only so much. They need to expand themselves. But they need a system to expand. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
They cannot just hire more employees, or they cannot just change the hours, because people need to sleep. Nighttime, no one is going to do shopping, right? So if they want to double or triple their profits, they need to expand and open more outlets. Is this making sense? Next thing is investor. Who is investor? Let's say I'm putting in $200 into TFSA, or I have $1 million, $2 million, but it's invested. What happens when you invest? It will compound, right? Rate of return, rule of 72. But do you work physically? No. So if you're not working physically, guess what? Your money is working for you. But when you work hourly, you're working for money. But when you put money to work, it's going to start growing. Making sense? And it becomes a legacy. On left hand side, you need to work for money. On right hand side, money work for you. Which one is better? Right side. But see, for last 20, 30 years, whatever you have been doing, you need to start thinking that is that going to take me towards right side, or will I be on left side? Why we are attracting physiotherapists right now, why we are attracting other different professionals who want to come into our industry and go full time, because they see that there's lots of hardworking people making lots of money, but they don't know how money is working for them. Is it making sense? So where there's a bigger opportunity?
Yeah.
This industry, there's trillions of dollars sitting in banks earning less than 1% because they're sitting in GICs. Making sense? You can educate people, you can work with them and help them grow their money. So what we do is, when you are in process of getting license, like you are, Kulvinder, right now you're self-employed, will you be able to claim your expenses if you start making money? Yes. Yeah, with this. So you're self-employed, right? T4A. But do you have potential of becoming business owner? Yes. Because whatever you learn, you teach others. That's how you become business owner, right? Costco, do they hire people? Do they rely on them? Do they train them? McDonald's, Tim Horton, they have a system in place. We have exactly same system. You just need to learn and adopt it. Is it making sense? Next thing is options. Some people, if someone is making $500,000 and they're happy with it, I'm not going to tell them quit there what they are doing. But do they need us to help manage their money? So we can help them on personal side. The second option is, some people, they have bills to pay. They cannot just quit. Madhav was not able to quit because he continued working at Walmart. but he started making more money doing part-time hours than his Walmart job. But some people are crazy like me or Prakash, who they say, I'm going to do both. So these are three options people have when they come see us. Either we can help them on managing their finances, or we can show them a part-time opportunity where they do not suffer. They can still work there and start giving us few hours where we can help them build their career. The next one is both. When people come work with us, first of all, there's a registration of $150 because there's no business without investment. So when you put in $150, guess what? You started a business, now you are able to claim it. Plus, Experior will refund you this money when you become licensed. Once you pass your provincial license, they're going to give this money back to you. Next thing is passing your exam, LLQP exam. There's a criteria for it where there's a reimbursement program, but you have to follow those guidelines and work closely with your trainer, whoever brought you into the business. The next thing is this receipt of 229 plus taxes. You can get 50% of money back from federal government when you file your taxes. So make sure you give this receipt to your accountant when you file your taxes, and the other one for 150. Okay. The last one is there's $40 for back office, which is a huge database on which you're gonna get lots of tools. What are those tools? These continuing education tools, this expert financial analysis. Remember, I said you need a financial blueprint. This system, which we have, we call it back office, will help you to build a EFA, and then quoting tools, carrier software, this how other people are doing it, called scoreboard, CRM, everything is included in that $40. So this is what you get. So that's how you get started. The next thing is when people get into business, they have some concerns. Number one is if I want to buy a Tim Horton, Subway, or something, and I have a job, how easy is it? Not very easy, because I need to have some time. I need to learn, right? The next thing is when people get into business, they are worried about how do I find clients? Is it a common concern? How do I gain experience? If I want to start a liquor store, who's going to teach me? I don't know what to do. If I start a Mac store, unless someone train me, I don't know what to do. Make sense? How about in real estate? Who helps in real estate, or you learn from your own mistakes? Make sense? How big of investment? Investment is how much money I need to put in. So if there's a bigger investment, how many people can start a business? Not many. You don't want to lose what you have. So even if there's a business of 100,000, sometimes you don't want to do it because you don't want to lose 100,000 that you have. So you are not sure if you want to be successful or you will fail. Is it making sense? But if I look at what was the investment to get started here, if you look at how much money for $500. So if I look at the risk here, what is the risk? What is the risk? For $500, you can lose that if you don't become successful. But will you learn enough on how money works?
Yeah.
Will you be able to make some wise decisions? Will you learn what is rule of 72? How to protect yourself? What are the ethics? Have you read this before? Insurance companies do not pay. They are scam. Will you know your legal rights once you read that book? So it means you will be in position to make some wise decisions. So what is the risk? Do you think I can save $400 or $500 for rest of my life by making some wise decisions? Does make sense? So I believe risk is nothing. But Experior, do we have wide range of providers? Or you need to work with one company? Is there huge income potential? After getting license in Alberta, you can grow yourself like I did. I'm in Ontario. I got income coming from states. I'm in BC. We recently brought in 55 people in Quebec. It's in process, right? So do you have that same opportunity? Building potential of outlets. See, remember I said Costco, when they want to increase their income, what they do? They focus on expansion. Can you expand? Okay. Brand timing and ownership. So very, very important. Brand is what people see when they look at Apple. What is in their mind? What do they feel about Apple? They feel good. When it, if you look at Experior, when you look at this brand, lots of people I have seen on Facebook, everywhere, there's the insurance groups, and people will say you should look into Experior. I've seen clients telling others that you should look into Experior. There's lots of good options. Make sense? So it means we are a good brand. When it comes to timing, so if you remember when McDonald's started, you know what was the cost of franchise? $5,000. And people made fun of them that I'm going to sell potatoes for $5,000. Why should I pay? But what is the investment today? 2 million minimum. And 2 million, they'll reject your application because I got rejected. I tried. They say you do not qualify our criteria. At my level, they rejected me. So ownership means I don't want to rent. I own my client, I own my agency, my team, everything. That's how we have a legacy program. Can someone give you legacy without ownership? No. So Experior, you get true legacy and true ownership. And what is the income potential? Can I tell Madhav that I'm not gonna pay you more than 250,000? Can I tell Rajveer that you cannot make more than 500,000? So if I look at doctor, does he have unlimited income potential? Can he make
Yeah.
unlimited income?
Tap on.
They have cap. How many hours can he work? How many clients can he see in a month? Make sense? So there's a limit. Can he start thinking that by working himself, he can get to 250,000? Oh, sorry, he makes 500,000 minimum, but then he can get to 2 million, 5 million, 10 million per year income. Can doctor do that with his own pen? No, not really. So there's limit, right? Same as lawyers, same as other professions. Yes, they can grow, but they have to come up with franchise idea with outlets. Make sense? So if I look at in Experior, is there potential to grow across North America, US and Canada? Yes, the answer is yes. So understanding business, here's few things I want to talk about. You can make money with your own pen by providing solutions. Remember earlier I said solutions. What are the solutions? Life insurance, CIDI, TFSA, FHSA. When you do that for others, you make money. But then we have a building model where you can build outlets, company inside company, which pays me. So yesterday I made almost $10,000, but with zero sale. I wrote zero sale, but they gave me $10,000 because of this outlet model, because of this franchise model. I have been working hard enough to build those royalties. I trained enough people to build those royalties. Is it making sense? The next thing is you can be a shareholder. I have about 18,000 shares, and guess what? How much I paid? What is my investment? Zero. If it becomes a $1 billion company with 18,000, they are common shares. Let's say the share value is $1 today for 18,000, and one day they become $100 a share. We go public. Now, what is the value of my 18,000 shares?
2 million.
2 million. How much did I pay? You can be a shareholder too. You should. Matter of fact, you should fight for it. You should look into it. And there's volume bonuses. Can I get those bonuses? Do you understand? If you're licensed, you should know that we have multiple different type of bonuses. That is whatever I do, I'll get paid, but on top, if I do volumes, not only Experior is giving you bonuses, our product partners are giving you bonuses as well. Is making sense? So we have multiple stream of income, but you need to get there. Make sense? So here's few things which they did really good. This is a new presentation. Actually, I'm using it first time too. So there's an initial licensing process, and this is where you become financial associate. But then there's guidelines on how to move up. Now, when you work for a bigger corporation, unless you have experience and credentials, do they start you on top? Or you start from bottom and gradually grow up? So same here, you're a brand new person, you don't know how to get licensed, but we'll show you how to, we'll support you. And you become financial associate. From there, you need to figure out how to get to SFA, senior financial associate, senior manager, executive director. This is when you get shares if you follow the guidelines. Making sense? Not only your income is going up, not only you start training more people, but once you become executive director, now you can focus on building more executive director and focus on passive income. So if I look at how many executive directs Jamie have,
Really.
so Morrow, me, Juan, Darren, these are the main ones, right? Zaki, these are the main one. Rest of them,
You know,
Enoch is one of them. Ryan is one of them. So these are all he have.
let's say 10.
10 of them took his company to $1 billion. Is it making sense? You need to visualize this. Do you want to have executive director like me or Frank or Morrow or Enoch? They'll put you into million plus income. Make sense? Next thing is, if I look at different brands, some of them, when I talk about Airbnb, how many houses they own, real estate they own? How about Alibaba? When it comes to inventory, what is their inventory? Or even Amazon, right? Uber, how many taxis they own? Facebook, how much personal material they have? Zero. Guess what? How many companies we own? Nothing. We have partner as a broker. But you will have access after becoming licensed, and you don't need to go to Manulife and ask them for contract. But you will be able to represent Manulife just because you are with us. We'll represent you. Okay? So these are some of the things when it comes to brands. And I have used this example of timing. Timing is very important. But when I look at timing, so these are few things he said. Two most important requirements for major success are being in the right place at right time. Do you know Ray Kroc did not start McDonald's? There were two brothers who were engineers, but they were so narrow-minded that they want perfection. Everything needs to be perfect. And they could not find anyone to run their location when they try to expand because they wanted perfect. So Ray Kroc was visionary. He saw these dumb guys, they have a system, they can make a burger and serve a client in less than a minute, but they don't want to expand. They cannot visualize. He took them out, to be honest. If you watch the history, you're going to hate him because he took the original owners out at the end. He took over the world. Do you know every minute they are like, if I look at the world, they are serving hungry people every minute. There's a number how many thousands of people eat McDonald's every minute around the clock. And do you know they got into real estate business where 50% of franchise locations are owned by them, and they're the biggest real estate owners in the world right now, just because of this one person. So that is being in the right place at right time, doing something about it and making a decision. What he did is he made a decision that I'm going to grow. And he took that idea and outgrew McDonald's. And can you do that? Do you need to do anything in Experior or just follow it? Right? Can you get to $1 million income in next 5 years? And all you need to do is follow the system we created. Make sense? Next thing is, these are the ownerships in Experior. 100% ownership in which you own your client, you have ownership which is shares in Experior, and the last thing is agency, because agency is what puts the value. So all of you guys who are licensed counts into the volume of my agency. Make sense? If I want to sell this agency and someone offered me 5 million already, after 6 years I'm being offered 5 million already. Can you believe if I wait another 5 million, it could be worth 20 million, my agency? Make sense? Will someone offer me 20 million 5 years later if I don't own it? No. So there's true ownership. The next thing is, we do have some legacy programs. Talk to the person who brought you in and understand what is legacy program. Very, very important. And thank you very much for being here. This is an awesome, it's a blessing. I hope I was able to provide some insight. If you have any further questions, just talk to the person who brought you in or talk to your trainer. Lots of information is on our back office. So do some search. There's lots of training videos. Do we know we just started Hoopis, which is a university? Do you know that all of these questions, there'll be training videos on there? And how much does it cost you, Mother?
80.
How about Work Vivo?
80.
You didn't pay, but Experior invested almost $250,000. For whom? Because we are focused on creating that system. We want to be number one company in North America, actually one day in the world.
Rapid funnel.
Rapid funnel, that is my investment.
HPM.
So many things we have done and will continue.